Dragon Dogma 2 is a game that was announced by many as 2024's Game of the Year, hyping a lot of us by the amazing trailers and gameplays that were shown to us before the release. I even saw a lot of players comparing it to From Software's masterpiece, Elden Ring. Is Dragon Dogma better? Is it even in the same genre and gameplay style to be even compared? Let's see together what Dragon Dogma 2 offers. Unlike Elden Ring, which depends on the world and the item description for telling the story, Dragon Dogma 2 has a story supported by cool cinematic cutscenes. The game opens up with a scene showing people celebrating, dancing and eating. The celebration is interrupted by a knight that asks for their attention to his speech. In it, he talks about how the throne has been vacant for a while. Now, this fantasy world of Dragon Dogma has a leader to its world called the Arisen. The Arisen is someone that has his heart eaten by a dragon until he retrieves it and proves that he is worthy. Who is that Arisen? It's you. Yes, it's you. The only problem that you have to face as the Arisen is that the ruler in the first cutscene that sits on the throne is an imposter pretending to be the Arisen. Your goal as the protagonist is to prove him wrong and get your throne back. As you go through this journey, you will find yourself meeting a lot of characters and going through different quests, to the point where you actually might forget the main quest and just start doing other quests. The gameplay in Dragon Dogma 2 is one of its strongest factors that makes the game great. You start the game with the option to choose a class. You got 4 starting classes. A warrior, who is a shield and a sword fighter that takes the fights close and personal. An archer, who from the name is someone that prefers fighting from a distance with a bow and arrows. Then you have the sorcerer, also a long-range fighter that uses magic and spells to heal his allies and strike enemies with cool natural elements like fire and lightning. And the final starting class is Thief, a class that is similar to Dexterity in Souls games. Someone who prefers using short and light weapons to hit fast. Don't worry, if you choose a class and you don't like it, then you can easily change it anytime you want with no penalty or payments to make. As you progress in the game and level up, more classes will be available to try. Now, the main difference in Dragon Dogma from Elden Ring is that the game isn't a Souls-like. Wait, what? Yes, you heard me right. If you think Dragon Dogma is a Souls-like, then you're wrong. The game in fact doesn't ask for skill but actually requires tactics and approach. I was surprised that it doesn't even have a dodge button. You have a team made of 4 people, you and 3 pawns of your choice. The type of the pawns that you choose determines your approach in a fight. What's funny is that you will be surprised how hard it is to go into a fight without your pawns. This makes our game very unique and it's more tactical than action-based. The pawns that you hire in your team are not only there to help you in fighting, but they also do other stuff like looting things for you, tell you if there's things that you missed that is actually in your surroundings, such as chests, and inform you of their personal owner's previous discoveries. I know that didn't make sense, but let me explain it. The game gives you the ability to hire other players' pawns, which went through their experience so that when they are with you, they tell you what they found with their original owner. Might be a weapon, a chest, or even a whole secret area. All you have to do is to give the pawn the lead by pressing arrow up, which means go, and they will start showing you what they know. Now, compared to Elden Ring, which isn't noob friendly and depends on skill a lot, Dragon Dogma at first feels unfriendly to new players, but once you understand it, it feels very immersive and fun. When it comes to the world of Dragon Dogma 2, it is very similar to the likes of Skyrim and Elden Ring, where you forget the main quest line and start exploring around. The world is very well designed, it is visually intriguing, and rewards you for exploration. The map is hidden, and the only way to make it appear is to start exploring it by yourself. Also, keep in mind that some quests don't wait for you. I know you're wondering, what do you mean? That's right, some quests, when you're asked to do them, they will disappear after a while because their events are happening while you are spending time doing something else. When it comes to traveling in Dragon Dogma, it is basically what you're seeing right now on the screen. Walking, walking, and more walking. Basically walking from destination A to destination B. The reason for that is that fast traveling can only be done in 2 ways. Either by riding these carts that you find randomly moving around, and each cart has a certain destination, so it doesn't take you anywhere you want. Or by using some stones called the fairy stones that are rare to find, and using them feels costly. The world is so lively and random things keep happening, such as the whole city being united to fight a monster that just entered the city out of nowhere. The main idea of the whole game is to explore, find new areas, kill enemies, and enhance your equipment. I know the game sounds so perfect until now, but let's get to the things that I hated. When it comes to performance, especially on PC, it's not well optimized, as simple as that. When I'm roaming around in the woods, I get around 60 FPS, but whenever I enter the capital city or any other city in general, I start going down to between 20 to 30 FPS, and the game becomes very CPU intensive in these parts. The draw distance can kill the immersiveness since the NPCs and a lot of other things pop up in your face while roaming around. I'm not an expert when it comes to judging game performance, but I can clearly tell you that the game lacks optimization. Not to mention that it actually runs at 30 FPS on console. The first thing that I hated about Dragon Dogma 2 is the idea of no fast traveling. I understand, as I told you, the whole purpose of the game is to explore around, but still, I can't deny that walking around can get boring after a while. Especially that you got no horses, for example, to make traveling quicker. Keeping in mind that your stamina keeps getting depleted even outside combat, which means I have to stop running every 10 seconds for the stamina to regenerate. Fast traveling, as I mentioned before, is done through oxen cart, which keep getting weighted every time I use it. See what I mean? Overusage of enemies to fill my time with fights. I used fast traveling to save time, only to see myself getting into more fights, which can get boring. One other thing that I didn't like is that every 10 meters I walk, I have to find enemies and I kill them. Then I walk to other 10 meters and I find more enemies and I fight them. That's what I mean. A lot of fights throughout the world. I know that you can actually run away, but still, sometimes you feel like, oh yeah, I found enemies, I'm gonna kill them. Oh, I found more enemies, I gotta kill them as well. Sometimes it gets boring. I also hated that the pawns sometimes die by falling into the water, or God knows what kills them, and everything they carry with them disappears. Also, the green bar, which is obviously your health, when it goes down, it will leave a gray bar. This gray bar indicates how much health you can regain. If you get hit again, this gray bar goes down, and now you can't heal the health that you lost until you find a camp and sleep in it. This really annoyed me. Why can't I heal myself anytime I want so I can actually continue exploring? I know that I have mentioned a lot of bad things about the game, but at the same time I mentioned a lot of good things. So in conclusion, it's actually a very good game. It was just 2 steps away from being a masterpiece. This game could have been a 10 out of 10 if they didn't actually do some bad decisions in it, like the ones I mentioned. In general, I only played like 17 to 20 hours into this game, so I can't really give a rating out of 10, but if I was to give it a rating, I would give it 8.5 out of 10. I don't know if that's fair or not. As I told you, I only played 20 hours into this game, but still, I like it. But as I told you, these bad things that I mentioned about it can sometimes kill the 10 out of 10 feeling that it should have given me, especially that it had a potential to be a masterpiece. If you're still watching until now, then thank you, for real. Just write down in the comments that you watched the whole video and get a heart from me. Please make my day by subscribing to this channel. I make video gaming content, and I plan on growing this channel. Thank you, and have a great day.